Magic. Magic.
You say under coven?
No.
Welcome to Under Coven with Sam
and Katie, the spiritual podcast for regular people.
Cool people. Fun people.
Just not boring people.
We hope you love it.
Hi, honey. We don't have our blankets today. I was but yeah, and I'd like our emotional support blanket. Where did it go? Where did it disappear? I don't know. We've been potty training, and Link has also decided that he wants to take the blankets off the couch. It's disgusting, but he's like,
to go to the bathroom with?
No, but he wants to well, he's not wearing pants. He wants to have a cape or bodysuit for me, which is cute, but it's disgusting.
Why? Just because he has no pants on?
Yeah, and he's rubbing his butt on the blanket.
Is his butt clean?
No, because he's potty training.
What do you mean? You're not leaving him with a dirty ass?
No, but it's not there could be pee.
Does June go out and take a shit and you wipe her butt? No. Why is Link sense dirtier than the dog?
Silly true. But what I wanted to talk about something else. I was talking about
let's skip over all that.
The pee. Ooh. Changing your face. Okay. I'm getting face. No, I'm not getting face.
Oh my God.
You're just.
Yeah, I don't think I would let you do that.
But I want to do. How do you feel about lasers?
Okay, so I think I'm afraid of them because I don't know anything about them. So obviously I won't do any of the other stuff.
You won't do Botox.
I won't do Botox. I won't do the injectables.
But you have.
I've done Botox only, and we could go back and be a tangent in them. It's all, but inherently it never jived with who I am and the wellness shit and all of that. So I loved. Even Michael, he was so taken aback when I said I was going to do it for the first time, and I'd done it a handful of times. And I was very relieved and happy when I decided no, this isn't for me for all these reasons. I'm there's an alternative. I could just invest in taking really good care of my skin from a natural standpoint. Yeah, but it's a lot cheaper, whatever. That's a whole other point. When I knew that there was alternative. And then B, also just accepting that I look older because I am older. And not for nothing, I look better than I did when I was 20. Why am I trying to still look that way? Yeah, I've grown into myself and my looks. I looked kind of crazy then. Why am I trying to hold on to that? So that part is hard because your friends all either they look younger, and then you are maybe going to not. I don't know. I don't think I look old or anything. But so I won't do any of that stuff. But I am interested, because I won't do that stuff, in some, I want to say the more intensive skincare, but I'm afraid of them because some of the people that you follow in the skincare world will talk about never damaging that because our body and our skin inherently knows what to do. And then you're kind of shocking it. And that's not a good thing long term. But then other people will be well, no, you're just helping it regenerate faster. And then it builds collagen and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know any of that. So tell me.
Well, part of it. So I have stopped doing Botox since we've had this discussion. I'm not I will do it again.
Okay. I'm also, I never say never about anything. I stopped everything for a while, long before I got pregnant. And I was I'm not doing this for now. It feels like forever, but I don't know that it's forever. And then whatever, 6 months later, I drink. Yeah. Right. Then we drank all the time.
But there's two things. One, I personally am yes, I totally agree with you that I feel I look better than I did in a lot of my 20s. And I'm asking you this because I'm trying to find my own line too around can you laser off your whole face and that's aligned, but injecting something else isn't? How do you find the line of what and even what you judge in other people, right?
But what the line for what? What
the line for what's not, that doesn't work for me, or that's a bridge too far to do Botox, but I would do this.
Right. So part of why, for me, it's wellness based, and Botox is a fucking neurotoxin. You're actually poisoning yourself. So for me, that's the hard line there. It's at what expense am I doing this terrible?
So it's putting something into your body is what you're against.
No. Because you could put things in your body that are natural, that are healing, that are good for you, eating. There's it's the part that it is so deeply toxic, and it's to freeze something and not accept the way that you're supposed to look. Like there's a self-acceptance piece there that you're moving, whatever. Lasers, again, I don't know enough about them, but like inherently you're not changing the way that you look. It feels like a really fucking deep clean of your face or something, right? It could be like an intense facial, like facials are healthy and wellness based. Like
I like ripping off layers of your skin up. I think I think my point in it is like the way you word it can affect the way that you think about it.
totally.
And like it can be that simple to be like, who wants to like, hey, go inject poison in my face? Or like when I had Botox, I loved the way I looked afterwards. So like, let's do like, you just do this little thing and then you like,
I mean, that's why I got it more than once because I loved it the first time.
yeah.
But then, so here's the other piece for me is I have a fear of changing the way that I look. So like, and I'm glad that I do because like I hated my nose growing up. I broke it when I was like, I don't know, 12. And so I have this bump that oddly enough, it's like my whole dad's side of the family has this nose, but I don't think it's my actual nose because when I was littler, it didn't look like this until after I broke it. So I have this bump, whatever, and my side profile and could look different. And so I wanted a nose job when I was younger, but like never fully. Like I think I was always a little bit afraid.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that I didn't get it done. Number one, because I would not look like myself. And number two, or like the self that I now look like. Number two, like I am too afraid that if I do something, I'm like, I like the way that I look. And then if I look worse, right? And like, what if I don't recognize myself in the mirror? And like all of that freaks me out. So I don't think lasers like inherently change your face, but like Botox and filler and all that does. And like they say it doesn't last, but like some of it's not reversible. Like I do think there's parts of my face that are a little different since getting Botox. Like I feel like really, yeah, I think there's an asymmetry. Like if old pictures, if I take a selfie, I looked more even, but now my eyes look like they're different sizes.
Weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
And it could fuck up your whole, like whatever. That's a rabbit hole that no one needs to go down. But like there's so much that.
Well, that's I used to in my late 20s. I hated my crow's feet, and I like really wanted to get them taken care of, and I didn't. And I'm glad I didn't. So I think that there's nuance, but I think my whole point there is there's nuance, and like that's where it's also like, all right, if you're taking a GLP-1, is that how do you feel about that in terms of spirituality? If you're like taking Ozempic,
you know how I feel.
Really?
Yeah, I would not go with that either. And all of these quick fixes are not meant to be our solutions. That's why they have terrible side effects. Like Botox could do horrible, horrible, horrible things to your body. So could Ozempic. They already know, like, unless you do X, Y, and Z things to mitigate this terrible risk, and they don't know long-term, like this is not meant to exist in our society. I understand technology is helpful in a way, but it's also really harmful in a way. And these quick fix Band-Aids that you love that we were talking about with the like taking the cold medicine where I won't take Guaz, and like I get it. Yeah, I don't think the benefit outweighs the risk for those.
I think it depends so much on what you're like. It's such an individual goal, because I know people personally that are very much benefiting from taking the medication that I mentioned that like needed the help chemically. Yeah, like there's like an imbalance there that it like lets them live their life in a different way.
Totally.
So there's obviously those, and that's not really what we're talking about here. It's like more vanity and more like, but even that, I think you could argue like if it's your quality of life and like quality meaning this is what matters to me, this is what's important. Like, I just like, do you feel like you could not be close to someone who is like, does it affect your friendship with me to like be open to those sorts of things?
Not at all.
Because you think I might be blocked and not do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, but not at all. I have friends who have plastic surgery. I've read a lot of my friends get Botox, like most all of my, right?
It's a personal choice.
It's a personal choice. And in part of one of my like spiritual journey things is so deeply not having any sort of judgment, because if I do, then I judge for myself, right? So like whatever shows up, I wouldn't do it for myself. So like I do not judge, absolutely would never judge a friend. If you go out and get Botox tomorrow or a laser or a filler or go on Ozempic, but then you'd be emaciated, so don't do that. But like anything, it would not for a drop change my friendship with you.
Okay.
I love who you are inherently.
This thing's not changed that. I know, but I think like from like a values perspective.
Yeah. I mean, part of the reason why I did heal these things and I do live this way is because I don't want to pass these societal ideals onto my daughter. Yeah, I don't want her to feel like she has to achieve a certain standard to be worthy. Like I don't want, I hope our society goes the opposite direction and like enough people are leaning into that. Like I don't want that to be created for her, and who's going to be their number one role model? Me and my son too, right? Like boys, it can be equal and women
For sure.
men.
And I think that's not to say like you're not interested in like taking the best care of yourself and like,
well, that's my bigger problem, right? Because if you do eat really well and mindfully move, and like if you do all the like daily inherently important things, then in theory you don't really need those band-aid quick fixes because I thought we were frozen. Because you get the result that you want from putting the good energy and the work in. Yeah. Am I perfect at that? Absolutely not. Like we get fucking shitty takeout and we drink and I get the nights that my kids decide to sleep or the nights that Michael and I decide to stay up late. Like we're not doing all the way big things. That's not what I said. But sure, we have some sex sometimes when we and but I just like I'm not a perfect pillar of this, but when I do like have the space and time to do the right stuff, I feel good enough that I don't need to do that stuff. But society is, it's just hard. It's hard for people. People's lives are different. Like there is no judgment. It's just like that is what I want to live up to, right?
well, I think this segues perfectly into our guest for today because we're talking about a lot of shoulds that I think as women in our mid 30s, we should get Botox. We should do all of these things. And like the shoulds versus like what you really deeply want. And Chelsea.
Yeah, so Chelsea Anderson on today. She's incredible.
Who just really articulates well, I think, in this episode, like how to get to what you really want. Because we're not taught how to do that. We're taught how to fit into these boxes.
Yeah.
And then I just thought it was interesting too that like she clearly is spiritual, but I think
Naturally.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
Just like her inherent belief system. And that is what I love the most about the episode, that like it was just a natural, like this is what popped into her brain, flowy conversation, like authentically who she is, not like I read all these books and then I decided to adopt these beliefs. Like this is her through and through. And clearly it's the magic of her that's working. So I think there's so much that people can just adopt from it, or not like take on, but mindset shifts, right? Mindset reframes that are like, oh, it could be that simple, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, so much. I can't wait to personally listen to it back to like steal the nuggets. Right?
And she talks about like the hacks that work for her.
Yeah.
The most famous people in her DMs, which is so exciting to hear about. I'm shocked she like spilled all of that. I know. She's fantastic. Our new best friend.
I know. I hope she wants to be as much of a friend as we've already decided. Oh, she is
coming on the podcast 100.
No, she's coming to your home, dang.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yes, we'll come to DC.
Yeah.
Yay, Chelsea.
Hello.
This is such a treat. I'm just, like want to take a second. This is such a treat to talk to you. I am impressed by Noah. Like said, literally at me, she's impressed by me. Sometimes. I would like not even myself. Like I'm working on that in therapy, and I like think you are brilliant. I just want to get that out of the way.
Thank you so much.
You've hacked not only social media, but also our brains. So you're gonna have to share with us how you did that, right? But before we start, I do want to acknowledge just what you've built in such a short amount of time, right? So I think 9 months ago, this Chelsea, the creator, did she exist? Like
she existed, but in a much kind of different way. I had never spoken to camera or posted content the way I do now, but I've been like making content since I got my hands on the internet. Like I make memes and post to Reddit, and on my own personal Instagram story, I would make these really, really long Instagram stories that my friends would all bring up. And so creating content, and I worked in advertising. So that was just creating content, and even working with creators. So I was making a lot of content, but it wasn't in the way that I was consuming like the talking to camera content, which I really enjoyed. I was like, oh, I wish I was brave enough to do that. And then one day I was like, I'm doing it.
I'm going to be brave. I love it. Well, I think, and that's when I found you, I think pretty early on in your public right creator journey. And I think what immediately resonated with me was I, scroll on TikTok or Instagram or whatever so often, and as moms, but even just in the spirituality space too, you see people taking themselves so seriously, thinking they have everything figured out. Like there's an authenticity that you bring, like a realness that like is missing, I think, frankly, in a lot of the world. And so when I saw, I was like, you were like, do a PJ fashion show, do this, like try this. And I'm like, you're right. And it's not like crazy groundbreaking, but it is because the space is fluttered with so much, and you just say it right away too. I think too, like some people like wait so long to like get to the point. You just say like, what this is going to help you, try it. And it's amazing.
I think, yeah, it's funny that you say that about the PJ fashion show, that it's like kind of not that groundbreaking. And I totally agree. And when I first was deciding what to make content about, I was like, well, I'll just tell the stories that people like to hear. And I learned from doing 5 minutes of stand-up comedy that you're not the final judge of what's a good story or a joke. Like it's the audience. And so I was like, oh, people love my babysitting stories. Like they just always hit, even though I don't think it's that crazy, especially because it kind of just came naturally to me. So I wasn't like, I'm a evil genius at babysitting. People were like, oh, people love these stories. And so I posted it. And yeah, it was kind of that same reaction that I would get from friends, but just on the internet, of people being like, yeah, we like that. I'm like, okay, well, I got 1 million of those.
So the Michael Jordan of babysitting name, was that already created or it came about because this went so well?
That was in my first video. I just was like,
no way.
Need a hook. I think I did that in one take. I had 40 followers. I did not think anyone would see it at all. I was just practicing talking to camera, honestly. I was so surprised when it blew up.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. Okay. I want to get into the spirituals, Jeff.
Let's do it.
So I could sit in a room that has been saged and Palo Santoed for hours. I love all the spiritual shit. And at the same time, when it comes to like getting things that I want, I am deeply impatient. So that juxtaposition is sort of perfect for where you come in, because I feel like you've had so many hacks, quote unquote, that are related to spirituality that I've seen that have made me laugh, and clearly that also work. And I'm just, one of them, you were like, I know it sounds woo-woo, but it's not woo-woo. But I feel like, my dear, you are quite woo-woo. True or false?
I mean, it's just hard for me to not be when it keeps working. Like
It's what Sam's goal was to like get you to admit it. So like, this is great.
Then I'm like, cool, then tell me everything and I will take all of your skills and use them.
I mean, it's so fun. Like I couldn't distill down into one thing what I like, quote unquote, believe. But I do feel like there's so many tools that help me kind of cut through just thought patterns or like loops that I'm in and I tell people this, like I got really into tarot for like a month last year.
We have to talk about this. Yeah.
Is it for a month? I love that.
I mean, this is kind of how all my hyperfixations go. I was like studying, like I had like books. I was like, this is it. And the way that I explained it to my friends and even anyone who was skeptical at all, I was like, this isn't going to predict your future, but it's an interesting lens to look at your situation through. And I think very much like TikTok operates a lot in the same way. I think I get served a video and I'm like, I was meant to see that because, and it's just something that kind of cuts through our usual patterns. And even I'm like, you can kind of use anything that way. Like I'll just flip open a book and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to read this page and then I'm going to think about that today while I'm thinking about content. And it almost feels like tarot where I'm like, I'll let the universe decide. But
oh, I love that. It's like super inspiring.
Yeah. Like you could just see it from so many angles. But then, I post stuff like the pain hack that I don't know that I would call that spiritual. It came from like a CIA document, but the document was kind of spiritual. And all these people are like, it works. I mean, it's a code. It's numbers that you say, but it works for me too. And it always works. I'm like,
fascinating.
It's almost like, does it matter
where it came from?
Right. Or
yeah.
Like, if it works and it resonates for you, then like, great. And if not, that's fine too. But like, I don't know. And I'm working on not shitting on other people's
Well, because I'm like wholeheartedly buy into the magic. Like you tell me something works and it's like say these 4 numbers and spin around and well, she'll do. And I'm like, yes, I'm in. It works. Like, so all of your ones that were like, I was telling Katie, there's like the one about whispering in person's ear and kissing them on the cheek. And like backing up over, but like.
But it like works.
How do you argue with results, right?
Exactly.
But so what are the ones that you like, if there's a few that you're like, I use these all the time or this really works, or are those why you got so big so fast? Like, do you lean into that? Like tell us more.
I mean, I really did in the beginning. And this is one that I use all the time is an order form to the universe where I like write at the, like a shopping list and I get really, really specific. And then I always
I'm literally writing this down.
I'll send you my templates.
Oh, please. That's amazing.
I always write at the bottom, like for the benefit of me and harm to no one, just so there's no, monkey's paw situation. But that has been really powerful and crazy. And when I first posted that first video, I wrote all these things, very specific things that I wanted, and they all came true within like 2 weeks, which just blew my mind. And I talked about this in a video the other day, but I was like, even if you don't want to think about it from this really woo-woo perspective, just getting that intention focused, I started to ignore all these other things that used to be tripping me up. I started looking at these things that I wrote down and saying, yeah, I want those things enough that I'll risk being embarrassing on the internet. And it just kind of trains your subconscious a little to seek those things out, to actually take inspired action. So even if you want to say it was just me getting focused on my goals, or if it was, more divine than that, I don't know. It's hard to say, but that's one that I use a lot and that I tell people all the time. I'm like, it's so powerful, even just to see the things that you want written down and to think about it. But I also I've always been into making vision boards and mood boards, and just, I've always been into dreaming and thinking about the things that I want. And so that just kind of came natural. It was never like I sat down and was like, this is going to be a spell,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a block for people sometimes. Like there's people who are inherently it's just built in their psyche that it works. And then I feel like it does. But then there's people who are like, there's no way that could possibly work. And then it does it. And then they don't buy into it because they're, it's like you have to have some sort of belief for it to come to fruition.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what, how would you describe yourself? Did you describe yourself as spiritual?
I really don't. I've never used that word to describe myself. I think I know enough to know I don't know anything. I don't know how any of this works. I think if I tell my friends one more time that we're just electricity in a meat suit, they're never going to talk to me again. But I'm like, this just doesn't make any sense. Why can I have thoughts? Why can, it does. I'm like, all of science just conveniently ignores that we're conscious. I'm like, what about that? Where does that come from? What is that? And it's super interesting to me. And my mom is definitely very spiritual. And, I think she sees religion kind of as a tool. She's like, if something resonates with you, if a certain vibe resonates with you or a community, but she's always kind of said the universe and God interchangeably and been just a little loose with it, I think. And that always made more sense to me because I'm like, there's all these different religions. Which one's right? That can't be. And how is anyone looking around? I'm like, I think there's something if this many people believe in something bigger, but I've never sat down to really define it, honestly. For myself.
I'm in a similar situation. I feel like I've always resonated more with I grew up very religious, but didn't really that didn't click with me. I felt gaslit by Jesus because I didn't want him to die for my sins, right?
You're I didn't ask for this, Jesus.
I literally didn't ask for that. How are you to make that decision? Exactly. But the spiritual aspect, I've always felt deeply connected to, but didn't know how to reconcile that because I didn't have the religion in it.
Yeah.
And now especially being friends with Sam, who's let's fucking try everything and explore all this stuff. It's opened me up in a new way, but I still I'm I was a TV news producer for a very, very long time, like very corporate upbringing and like box. I live out, you know, we live in Washington, D.C. So there's still a lot of like discomfort with like identifying as spiritual, which is another reason I love your content is just because.
Well, I think that's also why it works so well. Like for the description Chelsea just gave, like there is no box that she puts herself in,
right?
And it, you know, like you don't have to be in a certain way. You could just be,
which is a very spiritual sense, but like living in the real world, right? Like working a 9 to 5 or like there's something to like some of the spiritual stuff that's so unrelatable of like just go to a silent retreat for 5 days. It's like, no, I have to like pay my bills and like I have a life, right? So I don't know, there's something there that I'm like we're trying to bridge. I think you maybe unintentionally are bridging, so like it's cool to see.
I mean, I've always been super interested in psychology and how people's brains work and how my own brain works and how kids' brains works. And like, that's just always been super fascinating to me. And one thing that I read that I think about a lot with manifesting and this sort of thing was this story there. This guy took his nephew to a parade, like the homecoming parade, to see all the floats. His nephew's like 4. And at the end he said, you know, did you love the parade? There were all these giant floats. And the nephew says, yeah, it was the best truck parade I've ever seen. So many trucks, loved all the trucks. And the uncle's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, I realized that, yeah, I guess every one of those floats was pulled by a giant truck. And I was not looking at the trucks. I was looking at the floats. And my nephew who loves trucks he saw trucks. I saw floats. We were at the same parade. And I think in that way, like our brains very much create our reality. Those two people were in they saw different parades, even though they were at the same place because their brains were creating a different reality for them. And I think with manifesting and with, you know, visioning and spells and all this stuff, it's even if you don't believe in it happening on any other frequency other than your brain looking at something and seeing it, that can totally change your life. Like you can be like, I want this to be easy. And all of a sudden you only see easy paths you only see the trucks at the truck parade if you focus on them. So I think there's space for both things to kind of be true.
Yeah. I completely believe that. I think this is where I'm like buying into like, there's the science, of course, right? The psychology that you talked about, but there's so much that we don't know. There's so much that we don't know.
And I think that will never be explained.
Yeah.
Because how the fuck could it?
And for someone who wants explanations, it's like hard.
I know she has like an attachment piece.
And I have like a cognitive dissonance in my head where I'm like, I both fully believe that this works and fully believe that it's crazy and it's not real. And like somehow there's room in me for both beliefs.
Yes. What do you say to people like if they doubt it or like if it's like, okay, well, I tried that and it didn't work for me, or like, you know, if they're in that like stuck place, like is there like a level 1 of like Chelsea's hacks to like dip your toe into, you at least get like proof positive that they're, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I think, it's a rabbit hole and you can ease people into it for sure. And I think it's funny because when I first started tarot, I would say all my friends were just like, this is not real. There's like nothing going on with this. And then I got good at it and it was so crazy for them. They were just like, but this is exactly what I needed to hear. That's exactly true. Or that's exactly what ended up happening later looking back. And I think you have to experience like a positive thing with something. And then your brain opens a little. Like our brains are very moldable. And it's, you know, even for you and I who are believers, let's say, there's still part of our brain that's like, what?
Right.
No.
And I like that about myself a little bit. I don't want to, like, I want to exist in the world.
Right.
And I think there is space for these things that work, right? I think the working part. But I have like, I think you posted like yesterday something about like, oh, I just got all this inspiration. I'm like, I don't like, and I was like jealous because I don't like, that doesn't happen. I think creatively you have to feel like safe and open and in a certain space to like really access that stuff. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people to get there. I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. Like my relationship to my own creativity has changed as I've just gotten older and I used to feel like so much ownership over all my ideas. I was like, I'm so smart and creative. I'm coming up with these things when I do them. And then I'm so not smart and not creative when I don't have an idea. I'm a fake and I'll never have a good idea again. And now I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes these downloads just come and I'm like, I'm just on some frequency, and similar, like people will come up with the same ideas at the same time. And I was reading about this, and Liz Gilbert talks about a lot about this in her book, Big Magic, which I love. And she's like, when an idea wants to be born, it's going to be born. It's going to come to earth, and it's looking for a vessel, and it'll knock on your door, and you might be open to it and you say yes and great. And if not, it's going to go over to someone else. And you're going to be like, I had that idea first. And it's like, well, but you didn't do it. So now when the idea comes, I'm like, I got to do it. I don't want it to go to someone else.
I love that.
Oh, I think that's really awesome, because it's interesting. It's like in general, not even for like from a creativity standpoint, but like for life. Like I feel like paths of things do come out, and maybe they're like presented to you specifically, but this is a stupid example. But my husband and I have a wedding in Mallorca at the end of the summer, at the beginning of the fall. And I was like looking up where we should go before. And I was like, well, we could do Lisbon, or we could do the coast of Portugal, or we could do like this northern part of Ibiza, and then we could go to Mallorca. And I'm not kidding you, like everybody in my periphery, from like influencers to friends, whatever, like everyone is either going to one of those places or is talking about going to those places, but I didn't hear it before. I just like decided. And it's the same thing. It's like, it's all, there's like, we have this connection piece that I think I talked about to you one time about how like we are one is like the one thing I can't really get behind, but like it's real. I just have to like, and accept it.
I was just gonna say it's the same with like baby names. Like your friend will like come up with a unique name, and you're like, wow, that's like so unique. That's crazy. And they maybe got it from like an old family member or something that's not pop culture. And then all of a sudden it's like, now that's every baby's name. The collective download was just like, okay, time for this name. It's so odd when things like that happen.
So true. Yeah, it all happens in like these waves.
I think it's so cool. And so my one thing that I do definitely have cracked the code on somehow is parking tickets. I don't get them. I don't. It's been like years. But I am like having trouble applying that to different areas of my life. That's where I think I keep talking about like the frustration piece of like, I want to believe all of it, and I do, but like I just getting out of my own way sometimes is so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have that too. And I think it's like these limiting beliefs that we don't even, that we haven't named yet, where it's like, you do believe that you can do it up to parking ticket big, but like something's stopping you there. And so then that's where it stops. And I have that too. And I've had to, especially because this journey with all my online stuff has happened so fast. I'm like, I need to sit down and keep dreaming. Like, and I think that's why the momentum's happening, because every time it feels like the biggest thing ever could possibly happen, I'm like, but that can't be true. There's got to be I can't let my ceiling get too, firm, or I'll stay there. But it's tempting because, we only can accept so much, I don't know, like new things into our life, and like big things. It's hard.
What we're like, but I think you're right that's where I'm at level wise. It's like, I can believe that I don't get parking tickets, but like believing that I get $100,000 a month to like work for 3 hours a day. I mean, that would be, that's big. But like, yeah, like how do you even like, the logical brain comes in and like eats it up, right?
But I love that you're saying like you are making sure like each time you're like, oh, I hit that ceiling, I got to keep going. Whereas I think most people are like, okay, I did.
This is it, right? Yeah. This is it. This is all I can access, right?
And I think I give people this advice all the time, where I'm like, when you're hitting that ceiling, to go look around for proof that that ceiling's really, really low. Like I was talking to one woman that wanted to write a book. And I was like, every time you're starting to feel doubt, because I'm doing this, I do this too. I'm like, go to Barnes and Noble and just look around and be like, every single one of these people could write a book and I can't. Like every single one of these people ended up on a shelf. They're not just Amazon. Like they're here. Someone said this is good. Enough people said yes, that every single person here was able to get a book in this store. And I think I can't do it. Or, when I worked in advertising, I would see these budgets and I'm like, we can pay these influencers this much money. And I think that I need to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of my life. Like there's just so much proof that that's not true. And you have to go look for that solid proof of there is so much money out there. There's so much opportunity out there. There are so many people who've easily done the thing that I wanted to do. I'm like, okay, I need to look at that proof versus the other proof of all the people who couldn't do it.
That's fucking fantastic because everything woo wise is like, just believe it. Yes, put into the set.
Trust
just
the
get
other
us there.
Yes.
But you just made it tangible. And for humans, we need a tangible aspect, and there's plenty of it out there. I love that. That one's sticking for me.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Are there
cool.
other like things that you tell yourself when you're, I know you have a million hacks for this, but like for you personally that you tell yourself when you're in like a block? Is it specific to the block and then you like kind of write out like like you said, the note to the universe, but is there like something that you pull from specifically for every situation that you're in?
I mean, a big one for me, I lucid dream a lot. And
How? Tell us more.
Yeah. Do it for yourself.
I don't know how. I know there are hacks to like induce it. I just, in the middle of a dream, I'll be doing something and all of a sudden, like, I will just realize it's my dream. And the stressful thing that I was doing before, like, let's say I was like packing a suitcase or something. And then I'll realize like, oh, this is my dream. And then
This is fucking wild. You're connected in some other. You're tapped into your own subconscious. Please keep going. But this is
that's what it is. And then I run outside and I look at the world so differently than I did 4 seconds ago when I was still in that dream packing the suitcase. And now I'm like, I need to go do as many things as possible. I need to go be crazy and risk and try things because nothing matters because this is my dream. And I like try to tap into that feeling in reality because it's the same. It's kind of the same. It's like you could be sitting here packing this suitcase and just thinking this is the only thing I can think about. And I'm so stressed and I'm so worried. And outside is this giant video game world that you could just try things. And like, it really doesn't matter in the end anyways.
Really doesn't, right? Nihilism. There we go.
I know we're all going to die. That's my hack. And it's true. Like my friend and I, when we did stand up, we would like stand with each other before we went on stage and we would look at each other and be like, we're going to die. We are all going to die. Everyone out there is going to die. We're going to die. Fuck it. Like, and then we're like, all right.
It works. I think it's almost like the line of like, that's what, and our producer was like, every time I go into a meeting, he like thinks about death. Like, like, and then
what's bizarre is he said that like 30 minutes before we were just chatting about this. So again,
really?
It's all you're like, it's all connected.
Synchronicity.
It is. Yeah, right? Synchronicities, here they are.
Tell me more about tarot and how you got there and like all of that.
So it was actually at a work party. There was a tarot card reader there and I've always felt like a little bit psychic and same with my mom. And my mom was like, oh yeah, your aunts and my mom was very psychic. I'm like, okay, great. It runs in the family, I guess. And she was doing these tarot readings and they were so bad. I mean, just as even a party entertainer, we're at a work thing and she's pulling for this woman sits down. She's pulling the divorce card out of some weird deck.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, take the divorce card out of the deck before the work party.
I felt, And
it was just, everyone was getting just these weird readings. And I was just like, I just think she's full of it. And also I think she brought really mean cards to this party. She should have taken those out. And then I sat down and she was like, oh, she's like, do you read tarot? And I was like, no, why do you ask? And she's like, oh, I just like got that energy from you. And then she did my reading and it was interesting. And I went home and was kind of looking into it because I was like, I don't think that's what those cards mean. And then I kind of looked it up and I was like, yeah, that's not what they mean. I mean, whatever. She could bring her own interpretation, sure. But she also seemed confused. And I was like, I bet I could do this. And so I kind of got into it and I got this really beautiful deck. And there's this really cool store by me called Ritual Craft that has like all sorts of witchy stuff. And it's very beautiful. Oh, wow. It's like really high end. And I got some cool books and I started reading it. And then I started kind of doing it just for friends at parties, like these. And people loved it. And then I got really into it. I was like leaving all my friends these 10-minute voice notes. And
yes, you and me. Yes, right now. Yes.
And it was kind of crazy. I think for the craziest thing that ever happened to me with tarot is I did at my friend's bachelorette readings for everyone. I went last and I asked another girl in the group who'd never done tarot before if she would just, flip through the book and do my cards? And she said, sure. And she flips over these, like the sun, the moon, and the Queen of Wands. And then I'm like, oh, like totally makes sense. I feel very like sun and moon energy. I'm like, I'm the most creative person. I'm the least creative person. I'm the best. I'm the worst. Like kind of that
Yes.
familiar thought pattern. And then my other friend had gone into the hotel and had actually found someone there. She had a relationship with the hotel. She was like, oh, this person reads tarot professionally. Can she do your reading? And I was like, oh, I kind of like the reading I just got. I don't know if I want to like wrap my brain around a whole nother one, but she's already here. So, okay. And she asked if she could draw the cards herself, and she made the cards into a big pile on the table, like super messy. And she drew out the 3 cards for me. And it was the exact same cards in the exact same order.
Oh my God.
And the girls who were skeptical at that point, like we were losing our shit. Like it was crazy. And after that, I was like, I don't know. Yeah. Even though I always kind of like believed in it and saw it as a useful tool, after that, I was like, okay, that was crazy.
That's insane.
I love that.
I mean, I love this shit, and I think that's bananas.
No, it was
like, how
wild.
does that happen?
But the craziest part about it was the woman who did the reading, who was super advanced at doing tarot readings. It did not faze her. Like we were trying to tell her cool. She's like, yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense.
You're like, okay.
I was like, wow, I can't wait to get to your level of.
Do you still like practice, or are you kind of?
I always bring it on trips because I think it's so fun. I sometimes, if I'm feeling like I'm hitting a block, or I'm not understanding why something in my life is happening, or I thought something would go one way, I'll pull a card or two. But it's not like a super regular practice. But I do think it's just really fun, honestly.
That's exactly how I see it, as fun. And like, I see it kind of as like a current energy reading too. Like you kind of get like a weather pattern of like what's going on. I don't like, this is where like the psychic thing comes in. I think I could potentially like read future, but I have like a block, right? I don't like energetically want to like learn that or do that. But it's similar where all of my friends are like, are you crazy? Right. I was like in a situation where like we were having trouble getting pregnant, and I was like desperately like finding every online tarot person I could find, and connected with this woman who like predicted, she's like, when you're reading this, you're going to be pregnant, which is a very bold prediction.
Yeah.
And I had just found out that I was, and we became friends over time, and she taught a course. So that's how I got connected. But I was like running, like I was interviewing people on Capitol Hill, and then like running home and like secretly doing this online class, like such a like hiding, that I was doing it. And then once I started, it'd be like after, the 3rd glass of wine at a dinner party, like,
you're like,
everyone's so excited, right? And everyone wants it, but everyone's like afraid of it. It's like this spooky thing. And it's still like, at least in my community, I mean, there's certain people I still would not talk about it to. Like I think there's still some taboo-ness around it, even though I don't even like think it's that big of a deal, or any bigger deal than writing a letter to yourself or the universe, or like there's so many things that are, it's like a tool. It's like almost like a therapy, or like just a mindset shift that I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
I agree. I think to the individual, it's not that big of a deal, but I think to like capitalism, to patriarchy, it is a big deal. And I feel like there's a reason that these things are so looked down on, because even if, a small percentage of the population like gets in touch with what they really want and gets clarity and looks around at the world that we're all told is super normal and that we should all be doing all the time without ever complaining. And if you're upset, you're weak, and don't talk about that with anyone else. If all of a sudden that status quo gets threatened in a bigger way, I think that's an issue for a lot of people. And I don't think it's any, accident that witches are portrayed as these ugly, scary people, and that people are taught to really fear something that all it really is, tapping into your intuition, which, when we talk about it, it's like, well, that's no big deal. But there's a lot of systems that rely on people not being tapped into their own intuition.
It's so true.
I think what you really want in life, like, that is a question that I think most people cannot answer actually.
Yeah.
Like deep down what they want in their life and like what matters to them It's all conditioning.
Totally. They don't question. You're having that conversation we have the same therapist. And we were having that conversation about that because she's like, from the jump, like things are put upon you. Like, I don't think anybody has true clarity with EMDR. She's like, the whole point is like shed everything so you authentically know who you are, which is as much as I could believe that I do and all the work that I do and want to keep doing. Like, when I'm like, what do I actually want? I have no idea because I know what I want or in relation to my kids or in relation to my parents or in relation to my husband. I don't know what I want just as Sam, which is all part of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what most people want is to be happy. And I think the confusing thing is, how do we get that? Because and this was part of me jumping into content creation too. I was kind of like, I've achieved all these career goals that I thought would fundamentally change my life and alter everything. And they just didn't. I was like, okay, I don't know. It was just like, and
It's a weird disappointment, right? Where you're like, wait, I'm here.
I'm here. I did it. Yeah. And then I look ahead at the things that would be coming up and I'm like, yeah, if this didn't do it, I don't think that's going to do it. And that's when I was like, okay, well, this isn't making me happy and that I want to be happy. So I need to do something else. And I think the other thing that people want is to make a positive impact on the people around them, on the world.
Totally.
And there was just so much of my day where I was like, I didn't do anything real today. I worked all day and nothing changed in the world. Like a few emails went here, went there. Like that just felt crazy. I was like, I don't know. And I think figuring out the things that make us happy is realizing that it's not the things we kind of were promised all along. And that's a crazy realization to come to.
Do you feel fulfilled now?
Like so much. It's unbelievable. I mean, I don't think it's so amazing. Like, I think there was always this fear for me that if I'm like, oh, I'm an influencer, that, am I contributing anything to society? Is that just so?
Well, clearly, yes.
Right. But there's such a stigma. I totally understand.
And yeah, that's why I was like, well, I can just be myself. I like to help people. I like to give advice. I like to play with kids. I like to make crafts. I like to manifest things. And I was like, I'll just put all that out there. I think that's helpful. And people resonated with it, which was just, the best feeling ever.
Yeah, we do all the time.
We do.
Every post you ever put that I see, you're like always the first circle.
I know, you're always, also that's where you've like hacked the system, right? I'm like, every fucking time you're the first one there.
Hey, because you watch her shit.
I'm just the Instagram algorithm. That's not anything Chelsea's doing.
No, I think
I mean, it is because her shit's good, but I mean, like,
I also post a lot. I feel like I post a lot compared to maybe other people. I'm like, oh, every other scroll.
You have so much to say. It's not like you're just posting things down like, oh, here it is again. It's like, I feel like you said that. You're like, how does her brain come up with all of it?
Do you remember everything that you've posted?
No. And
okay, good.
Sometimes I'll get on like a podcast interview. They're like, you had such a genius thing for toddlers about
like,
X.
cool.
What was it? And I'm like, they're like, tell us what that was. And I was like, oh my God, what was that? I don't remember.
But is there a part of you that like, and I don't want to like plant the seed if it's not there, but like,
go for it.
Like a fear around like staying true to yourself and like being authentic and like, because obviously that's what like has worked so well. And like, I love that about you. And I'm not worried about it, but like, I would worry about it. I'm like putting my own like worries.
No, I get that question a lot. And the answer is no, because I was talking to my husband and my friends about this. I'm like, nothing has changed. Like, in some ways, everything has changed. In some ways, I'm still just in my living room thinking the same thought I would have been thinking, whether I recorded it or not. And I think because my content is not really lifestyle content, that the relatability was never about my lifestyle, which also my lifestyle has not changed, other than I don't have a full-time job now, which is not relatable. But I don't know. Like, I also feel like I haven't been rewarded online for the stuff, for something that's not authentic to me. I could so see how if, you know, you post an unboxing of a very expensive purse and that's the best video you've ever posted, that's the algorithm pressuring you to move a certain way that maybe starts to make you feel less authentic. I could see how it happens for sure. But I think with my style of content, it's just a little less likely to happen because it's not in real time. It's not
You're
like
not like
what I did today.
Right. Having to show like, I don't know, really, really intimate parts of your life. If you don't like, that's not really what your thing is. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing.
Oh God.
Cheap. No. So I feel like I don't know if you intentionally, like, because we talked about contribution and trying not to have your ceiling or like going beyond it, but like, is this specifically what you manifested? And like, do you have a specific process and what are you manifesting next?
So yes, it's definitely so much of what I manifested. I think early on, I remember thinking I need to set some true like North stars because otherwise I could see myself just building my own mousetrap again where I'm in meetings all day and have all these deadlines. And what I really wanted was freedom over my time, the ability to be creative, community, and impact. And those were like all the things that I wanted. And I genuinely love brands. I worked in advertising. I love ads. I've always been a nerd about that. So I'm like, I enjoy that side of influencing too, which some people don't. Some people are like, oh, the ads, the thing I have to do. But I'm like, I'm obsessed with brands. I'll be posting about them unpaid all the time.
Why not? Exactly.
I'm interested in those things. And so yeah, I was like, I still want to be able to do the fun parts of my job, but I don't want to have to ever have a boss and I want to just do whatever I want. I mean, really, that's what I manifested. And it's, yeah, definitely mostly come true. So that's been awesome.
That's amazing.
What is next? What are you like?
Yeah.
What is these? Yeah.
I've been kind of trying to figure that out. And I think, I don't know about you guys, but it's been a little hard for me, especially this year, to like imagine the future because everything just changes so quickly. And that's been weird. But I have a saying that I use in my own head that's like, why is this happening for me instead of why is this happening to me? And
I love the idea of that. I just,
when shit's hard, that's like
it is hard
that I have. Yeah.
And I think for me, the instability of this year, I'm like, okay, this is happening for me because I need to be present. Like I need to be thinking about right now. And yes, of course, we always want to plan for the future. But I think if I maybe got too wrapped up in what's coming next, I think that could make me lose that authenticity that you were kind of talking about. If I was like, had some specific goal I was really gunning for, would I be overthinking or too strategic or not posting this because I don't want that brand to think, or, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Getting too in your head about it. So did you feel like you're more present now in this? Yeah. In the stage?
I really do. And I think part of that is that, you know, when you work, at least in my experience, at corporate jobs, you're always planning out pretty far in advance. Like the work you're doing today is to serve something that's ultimately going to happen weeks or months from now. And I didn't realize how like not present that made me. And now when I'm like, I post a video, I think of a video, I film the video, I post the video, I get a response to the video in 5 minutes. I'm like, that keeps you very present. You're like, oh, this is happening now. And I didn't even realize how much like the corporate structure had made me not be present at all because none of the work I was doing that day was for that day or had any immediate impact or I don't know. So I think that's made me more present for sure. Just the immediacy of my work and the shorter timelines. But as far as the future, I'm like, I could go a million directions. I would love to stand up some businesses and be involved in them. And I'm working on that now. And you know, I don't know. I have so many passions. I'm like, do I make a comfy bra company? Do I make a yogurt company? Do I make a lamp company? Like, I don't know.
Yes. Is there like, so is there then, I'm like, I feel like this entire time I've been like, I'm negative. But
it's okay. It's okay.
Is there fear in any of this? Like I think clearly, like, do you have like because the fear of being seen, like you're putting yourself out there, right? You're being really seen on the internet, which is fucking terrifying. to somebody like me.
It kind of makes
Yeah.
sense to me a little bit too, saying that you've done like stand-up comedy
Yeah,
and stuff.
that
Like I
makes
feel
it-
like you have maybe
Yeah,
you some of this that
Yeah.
like
Yes.
that I'm like I could never stand up and do stand-up comedy. I think I'm
You
hilarious,
could.
but I think
You
only
could.
I think I'm hilarious. Most other Katie tells me I'm funny. Don't worry, I just found my audience in case.
Yeah.
Is there fear? No. And
Good.
I think it just like I feel so in alignment. Like I was more fearful every day. My anxiety was much higher when I had a stable job, a job that I liked, by the way, like a creative job, a good job, a cushy job on all accounts. But I just, when your body knows when something is like not right. And I was just trying to fight it so hard. I was like, this is right, body. Stop it and listen to me.
I know that exact feeling extremely well.
Yeah. I think now that I don't just have that really thick baseline layer of anxiety, I'm like, okay, I will figure it out. And even just tactically, it's like, if I wanted to go get a job in marketing now, I could get a better job than I could have gotten before. Because now I'm like,
From like a risk standpoint, right?
like
that's really-
there's a parachute.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. But it's so wild to even just hear that reframe, I'm sure, for a ton of people. Like thinking that your anxiety is gone without the stable job. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just now like free falling for myself and I'm so much more comfortable and like free and like more chill than I used to be. Like that's a crazy thought, but it makes a lot of sense. It's just inherently you don't believe that because we are told that like this structure and this job and this paycheck are what like gives you that stability. And in reality, it's not the case.
Bullshit.
And I think we also just ignore so many of the clues that we could have a stable life without a corporate job. And when I worked in advertising, I'm like seeing these budgets and then the companies would just throw it away. They'd be like, we didn't end up making that product. So that $1 million shoot, gone. And then it's like, okay, could we, even for things that were not personal money for me, but it'd be like, we need $5,000 to shoot this social thing. They'd be like, we can't find that money. And I'm like, what about the $1 million? And I'm just like, it's all so pretend. And we're, I'm like, I want to get a 10% raise and that's going to be a fight. And there's only so much. And we totally rationalize that because we're like, well, each company only can give every employee so much.
Oh my
whatever.
God. Oh, yeah.
But then I'm like, wait, but we can drop, or these big companies have all this money and they spend it without thinking. Or if this director's like, I cost $600,000 a day, they'll go find the money. But if I just was like,
but if you need like $5,000 more a year, it's too much.
Oh my God. Way too much. Yes.
I was just like, I just feel like this is all a lie. I feel like
It
I
is.
could.
Yes.
I was like, I'm going to go just use that delusion and belief to work for me.
For
instead of-
yourself.
yeah.
Fuck yes.
So we've hacked Chelsea's brain. Now we get it. We're all going to get inside of it and do the same thing. The life is going to be better. It's going to be the world is going to be a happier place.
Yes.
I would love that.
Okay, we do some rapid fire questions at the end. So this intentionally is supposed to be the first thing you think of and fast.
Okay.
This you might have to use your phone and check, but if you go to your Spotify right now, what song is currently on?
Oh my gosh. I was listening to some throwback stuff. I'm curious. It's Starry-Eyed Surprise by Paul Oakenfold.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, that's like,
I love it.
sorry, that's like high school for me. It's like 2006-ish, right?
I remember it was in a Diet Pepsi commercial and she's like rollerblading and I saw it and heard the
amazing.
song and I was like, I love this song.
Yeah.
It's like wow. I hadn't thought of that name in like it's amazing. It's a great part. What spiritual practice do you think is total bullshit? If you do.
Oh.
Now you have to though.
Total bullshit. I mean, I guess I would just say anything that is kind of around scarcity. Like, I don't know if there's a belief that's a hard question because I think what works for your soul is correct. And what works for someone's spirit and soul might not work for everyone's. So honestly, I don't know. That's really hard for me to say. I'd just say anything mean is probably, to me, not how it works. Like, I just don't think.
Or gatekeeping maybe? Like, yeah.
I just don't think, I don't think I could manifest something bad for someone else. I just don't think I could. Maybe I could. I wouldn't. I'm not trying, but
Yeah.
Well, you're inherently good. So
Yeah.
I don't think so either. What's a manifestation that came true that you wish didn't?
oh, I don't think I have one. Like, it sounds so corny, but dealing with everything that's happening right now, I'm like, every single thing along the way had to happen, even the really, really low moments, because that's when I had to make a change. Like, there wasn't a choice. So if I had been a little bit more comfortable, I would have sat there forever and been more miserable than getting it out of the way. And I was thinking about this recently because my husband and I just bought a bunch of plants to plant in our garden, and they have to be hardened off. Like, they have to be outside and then like inside before you can plant them in the ground. And you have to like get them acclimated to all these different things. And I was like, that is just kind of how life works too. It's like, we have to get
Great
hardened
metaphor.
off. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be in the rain, and then you have to be in the sun, and then you have to be inside, and then you have to be in the cold. And it's like, okay, now you're ready to like be in your final place and really bloom, but you would not have been successful without that hardening off.
It's true. I love that. It's so much.
I feel like things that you talked about seasons. We have seasons of life, seasons of ourselves.
Dancing.
It all planting. It all always aligns, and it does sound silly, not to me, but to everybody else. And I love it.
It's also funny how sometimes it sounds silly and then sometimes you're like, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like what Chelsea just said. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. If your feed disappeared tomorrow, what would you be the most sad that people couldn't see? Like, what's something that you think is really helpful for people?
I mean, the greatest joy of this whole experience has been people telling me that they have been more creative, whether that's in their parenting or in their dreaming about their life or in their businesses or in just crafting because of my content. Like, that to me is the most impactful thing, because creativity, I think, is so taught to us that it's being artistic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not just being artistic, but people, the muscle atrophies if you don't work it. So people forget that they could even be creative in other ways. And like, parents telling me the hacks that they made up for their own kid that worked so well. And they're like, oh, I'm so creative now. And I'm like, you always were.
I love that.
But that,
It's like the interaction that you would miss.
oh,
Or like the,
and that maybe families wouldn't have that. Like, I have talked to families that are like, things are so much more peaceful now that we're going with play instead of trying to just make everything a battle. And I would hate for anyone that could be possible for to miss out on that, because that's just so nice for everyone.
Yeah.
I love that.
It is.
Can I ask a non-spiritual question?
Ask anything.
I was going to ask, who's the most famous person in your DMs?
Oh gosh.
Is it Michael Jordan?
Not yet. I'm waiting. Someone did reach out and said that they were college roommates with his daughter.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like,
Closer. We're getting there.
That's great. Has he seen this? Yes.
God, I'm not kidding. I literally block it out of my brain because if I think about it too much. But so I wrote a list in my phone because I'm like, people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. I block it out. I mean, I think Chris Pratt was like the first celebrity to follow me.
Okay.
I had less than 100. I had like maybe 70,000 followers. I was like, I almost crashed my car. I was like, what?
My husband's going to love that one.
On
So.
And I'm sure you
earth?
can't think about it like while you're doing your stuff, right?
No. And especially, no. And I was like DMing with Billie Eilish's mom, which I was like,
Okay.
I was like, she's going to request a hack of like an anonymous person asked, how do I get my daughter to clean up her tour bus? I'm just kidding. But
That's amazing.
Wait, this is so
Oh
fucking
my God.
cool. Because you're just so, like, I feel like you're our buddy.
Oh,
and then you have all these friends.
I forget. Yeah. I mean, and I've gotten like Paris Hilton left a couple comments, which was like a huge fangirl moment for me.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
Paris
yes.
Hilton. Amy Schumer. I love
Wow.
Amy Schumer. I don't know. There's a bunch, but I truly I can't let myself think about it too much because I just have to be able to post my long-winded rants.
just keeping you. And posing your, okay.
I love it. Okay. Is the merch out yet? Are you making merch?
I am. My brother's about to kill me. He's helping me. He's doing all the operations, and he's like, just send me the files. I'll do the rest. But I'm feeling indecisive about some of the designs, which is such a new feeling for me. So I just need to pull the trigger, honestly.
When you had those stories, I voted on the ones I let.
Did you? And I got such good feedback that I was like, oh, I made some adjustments and I have some new ideas. But I'm very excited for that because I found the sweatshirt, my favorite sweatshirt in the whole world. It's so soft. And so I'm very excited when it hopefully soon happens.
Yeah.
We will buy it.
We will totally buy it. Okay. It is tarot time.
Yeah, Kate closes out with tarot.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, you ask what's something you
Is there like a question or anything that I can do for you? And then we'll do one for like energy for like the week.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. I'll say like, I'm going to Cannes, the advertising festival in France in like a week. So maybe I'll say, and I'm going alone. I've always wanted to go because it's an advertising thing. And then to get there, I just had to quit my advertising job. But I guess I'd say like, what's the energy? What's my kind of like reading for that week?
So the first card I pulled is a star.
Love that.
Hey girl. And then I got 4 of Swords and 5 of Pentacles, which is interesting to me. So I feel like 4 of Swords, I typically think of like with rest, which is interesting as like I think there's going to be a lot of you deciding what you want to do, like you leading the way. So I think as you will, right, knowing the very little I do know about you, like deciding how you want it to look and it will look that way. But it feels like there's whoever you want to talk to, whoever you want to meet with, and then prioritizing time. Like if you feel burnt out to like take the break,
Take the rest.
get as much sleep as you can. That's, I think the call is like there could be like a little bit of overwhelm and like making sure that like you're not going to miss out on anything, right? Like you won't. But there will be like a little bit of a focus on you there too. It feels good.
The rest is a good
You're
reminder. Love that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes. I think that's going to be a big part of it. Because I think there's probably a very big, like, you want to like do it all, right? Or like it's exciting and I don't know, like
get all in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't want to miss out on anything or like, I think the
Sounds really cool.
and yeah, that's exciting.
Oh, thank you. That's what I needed to hear. Definitely.
Yay. So, all right. For the week, 7 of Pentacles. We're growing our garden. There's that plant metaphor again.
So much planting is
The moon.
She always shows up for me.
Does she really? Yeah, there you go. I mean, again. It feels like this feels like a building week. I mean, the moon obviously to me is like healing too, and like there's a softness, but there's a good balance between like the 3 of Wands, taking action, movement, and then also just like taking inventory on like what's working and what's not. It's a good, always balanced week, but yeah.
I like that.
Amazing. You are so incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with us.
This has been magical. I feel like there's so many good
Oh my gosh.
things to take away and for like personally. Forget
I'm so
who I was
glad.
yesterday just for myself.
Such a treat.
Well, I
Thank
loved
you.
getting to chat with you guys. Thank you so much for having me and for all the support and kind words. I seriously appreciate it more than you know.
Well, we're big mans. Chelsea is at Chelsea _ exclaims. Yes. Get that MK sweatshirt. Yeah, whenever they come out. And we will be following along.
Amazing. Thank you both so much.
Thank you, darling.
Bye.